My neighbour. Oh my god!
See, this is why you hold the cork.
Welcome back to Basic Bubbles, episode 3. Why are you laughing?
No, sorry. Welcome back. This week we're going to be touching on the royal family.
We are. And specifically, we're going to be talking about Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
They still do have those titles,
They
don't they?
still do have those titles.
Even though they're not senior royals anymore.
Let's talk about these wonderful gifted bottles of prosecco that we have been given from iHeart Wines. And you guys can get it personalised as well.
Yeah, you don't need our faces on it. You can get your own photos on. Basic Bubbles 20.
You can get 20% off your bottle of prosecco. It's actually really delicious.
So Cam, do you want to do the honours? Pop it open.
I do want to be honest. My neighbour. Oh my god!
See, this is why you hold the cork.
I did hold the cork.
It's a perfect example.
That is why I've been taught how to hold the cork, because I knew one day that would happen.
That was literally a perfect example of that. The metal bit is still intact with the cork. People, drink responsibly and use the cork and hold it down.
Trained professionals in opening a bottle of prosecco.
We are seriously popping into this week's episode.
Something some of you have been asking us to talk about is dating in lockdown, or just dating generally in your 20s. It's such a snake pit sometimes because there are so many dating apps nowadays. There are so many different ways to meet people and you never really know what people's intentions are.
It's a complete minefield. Dating in your 20s is what I can only describe as a game of chess. Nothing ever really goes to plan, does it? I will be the first to say that I've been heartbroken in my 20s. It's not very fun.
I think when you're in your 20s, people are at different stages in life. So some people do get settled very, very quickly. They find a long-term boyfriend or girlfriend, move in together, buy a house, buy a flat. Whereas some people maybe either focus on their career a bit more or just aren't lucky enough to be in a long-term relationship.
We're all on our own journeys. We're all going at a similar pace. And just some are progressing faster than others.
What I found in lockdown, the big lockdown, when you saw people in couples, they could obviously be with each other. But if you were single at the time of lockdown, it was really, really hard.
But then you have to take yourself out of that negative mindset. We're both in our early 20s.
Yeah.
We have a lot of time to date if we want to. I've had friends who've been on virtual dates, who've been sitting on FaceTime, set up their iPad in a certain way, probably a ring light round them like that we have now, and they're cheersing over to a stranger with a beer or wine, which actually in a really weird sense is actually quite romantic.
Also, you don't have the temptation to take it too far too quickly and then ruins it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Have you done any virtual dates?
Have I done virtual dates? No, I've not done any virtual dates. I don't like virtual dates. I want to see them in real life.
I want to see Chris Robshaw in real life, but here we are.
Who's Chris Robshaw?
Lovely rugby player.
Oh, right.
Who's
that's
also
why
engaged.
Right. That ship might have sailed. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah.
What is your ideal date then?
Probably like a skiing day. A skiing day, we both go having a good time. He's got a couple of his mates, I've got a couple of my mates, and then we sort of like race each other down to the bottom of the mountain.
I'm really, really picky, so I haven't been on many like first dates.
Okay. Hey, I'm quite picky too.
I wasn't accusing you of anything. I was not accusing you of anything.
Let me just clarify. I'm very picky.
Yeah, Pandora will go with anyone on a date. It couldn't just be like sat at a bar or sat like at a restaurant. I think it would need to be like a bit of an activity first. So I don't know if we went like something outdoorsy or something a bit active. And then like afterwards when you're a bit tired and stuff, you then go to a bar or you then go to a restaurant. I can think of a few
active activities actually. I'm going to date myself for a bit. I've taken myself out for dinner, I've taken myself out on cinema dates, I've had date nights in, I've actually been far more generous.
On your own?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my god, it's the best experience ever.
I need to try that.
You'll feel so independent and so amazing afterwards. You walk out the restaurant and actually you go in and they're like, oh, are you waiting for anyone? And you go, no.
See, that makes me feel really uncomfortable. I feel really self-conscious.
Just a table for one.
Okay.
Just a table
Maybe
for
I
one.
should try that. I have been to the cinema by myself, but I'm not sure if I would go to a restaurant by myself.
Well, why don't I set a challenge for you for next week
to
have gone to dinner by yourself.
Fine, okay.
And we can compare our experiences from a beginner who's taking himself out for dinner and somebody who's more experienced in taking herself out for dinner.
Let's try that.
Well, we'll give it a go.
That sounds like a good challenge. Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
Cheers. So, they've caught the headlines around the world. Harry and Meghan.
Duke and Duchess of Sussex, their Royal Highnesses.
They still do have those titles, even though they are supposedly not using them on a public platform.
Yes, but they are not receiving any funding from the royal family anymore.
But they have had a major Netflix deal.
They have, reportedly £112 million worth. Do you think they should be doing a Netflix deal?
I think that if they want to be financially independent, they should be financially independent, which is totally right. But I do feel like they wouldn't have got the Netflix deal if they had no connection to the royal family whatsoever. And that is what I like to call privilege.
Well, I think that's the point, isn't it? And I think that's why lots of people are quite upset that they do have this big Netflix deal. Because although Meghan was an actress before she met Prince Harry, she wasn't what I would say a big A-list actress. Whereas Prince Harry, if he wasn't a member of the royal family and wasn't the grandson of the Queen, he wouldn't be in a position to A, meet Meghan in the first place, but B, be so famous that he would get this deal. He's Princess Diana's son, for God's sake. So of course, like, Netflix is going to jump on that bandwagon. And the fact that we are talking about Harry and Meghan now, and every media outlet in the entire world is talking about them, seems that they do sell.
They're saying that they're going to make children's programming and documentaries.
I kind of think that's admirable because they are going to be doing courses.
I'm sorry.
They're going to be
Admirable.
Yes.
If someone had paid me 112 million, which by the way would be a nice cut of about 61 million pounds each. Admirable is what you call somebody who's giving their, I don't know, helping a grandma down the street go into a house and take their bags to them. That's admirable. That's a good
Which
deed.
they have been doing in LA, doing a load of charity work.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
Yes.
In front of photographers, may I just add. I'm sure that everywhere they go, they get packed to high heaven. So I do sympathise with them on that point because they obviously want a private life. And I do get that entirely.
You can't have a private life and I want a massive Netflix deal in the same sentence, though. I think that's the problem.
This is the issue. This is the issue that lots of people have. It's like, I want a private life. I'm detaching myself away from the royal family. Why would you sign a deal with the biggest streamer online?
Because they want to be financially independent. They want to be financially independent.
There are other ways to be financially independent.
What, working at a fast food chain?
Okay, come on. One of their first things they did, then when they went to the US or Canada, they went and did a speech at JP Morgan.
A big financial firm.
A private audience with no photos, no videos were taken. And now you're going from that to Netflix.
There was a big hoo-ha when they decided they want to leave the royal family, that Frogmore Cottage, £2.4 million had been spent renovating it using the sovereign grant, which is taxpayers' money. And it's to pay things like staff's salaries and upkeep of royal palaces and things like travel if they go on royal tours. So that money, the pot of money that everyone's so outraged about, isn't really their money.
But the fact that they didn't pay it back, I think, is an absolute disgrace before they went away.
I think that was bad. I think that was a really poor decision.
It shouldn't have taken for the Netflix deal for them to have paid it back.
No.
I really don't think it should have.
No.
And I think they should have paid it back sooner. Because the royal family, as you said, have got so many smoke and mirrors. If the media get a hint of something that's wrong, then they all obviously run with it.
Of course they're going to run with it. It makes them money because people watch the royal family and want to tune in.
Yeah, and people are so interested.
We asked for your comments on this. Basically, we said, were Harry and Meghan right to sign a Netflix deal? Adam says, yes, I have gave them a lot of criticism in the past, but they are showing that they won't be living off the state anymore.
No, and Oliver is of quite a different opinion. He said, no, neither of them have the life experience to tell us what a struggle is. Very patronising.
Because potentially a fair point. And interestingly, we did the same poll on Twitter and Instagram. On Instagram, 61% of people said yes, they were right to sign a Netflix deal. But on Twitter, 56% said no. So obviously people are in favour of them on Instagram, but not Twitter.
This is interesting. I do feel like the Instagram audience are younger, so this might have an influence on it. Sort of says a lot, actually.
It does.
In this week's episode of Sassy.
Or assertive.
When do you split the bill? Is it acceptable to split the bill? And quite frankly, who should be paying the bill?
This always causes a little bit of drama. I think now, as we get older and we're more advanced in our careers, and for the sake of like 10 quid, it doesn't really matter.
No.
But back in the day, I would say people were properly to the penny trying to work out who had what on the bill. Oh my God!
Owe £12.43, Pandora. And then at the end, when we've all put in our 63, 72, 11, 13, 15, something, oh, the bill doesn't add up. Then we go again. Someone brings out their calculator.
The bloody phone.
Oh, let me just...
I'm just doing it. Oh, actually. And also, you drank more wine than I did.
Sharon, do you mind paying an extra £1, please?
Split it equally for the sake of like 5-6 quid.
But then
just
you'll
split it
always
every
have someone
There's
piping
always
up
one.
going,
There's always one.
well, actually, I'm not drinking tonight. I'm driving, so would you mind? And it's like, okay, that's absolutely fair enough.
If someone is really struggling money-wise,
totally.
then totally fair enough.
So is it sassy or assertive to go, do you mind if we split the bill?
Yeah,
halves?
or it splits it
and you've
equally.
had 2 different
Split it
meals.
equally. Exactly. My personal view is that it's assertive to do that.
I agree.
Yeah, but if you guys disagree and you think it is sassy and you should say, split it depending on who's had what, then let us know.
Anyways, let us know your thoughts. And we will go back to them on next week's episode.